Hey, good evening, Dr. Shelkey. This is my submission for the 8th Arduino assignment with the ultrasonic sensor controlled motor. This one has kind of been beating me up. I cannot get the circuit to work physically. I got it to work in Tinkercad. It's the exact same setup minus this diode as what I have in Tinkercad. But what's going on is if I take the VCC from the ultrasonic sensor into the 5-volt pin to power the ultrasonic sensor, the board shuts down. It's drawing too much, and I might have shorted out the microchip in there. I tried it on 3.3 volts, but I'm not getting enough power to the motor to actually turn it. The serial monitor, when I run it, says that I'm getting, let me plug this back in, that I'm getting a speed to the motor, or it was. Oh, I know what I need. I commented out. So I'm printing the speed there, but the ultrasonic sensor isn't reading because it's not being supplied. I can't get it to supply 5 volts from the board. If I jump over to Tinkercad, I have the same circuit minus the diode with the VCC from the board going into the 5-volt, all on the same ground to the 9-volt battery to power the motor. And I think that might be my issue, but I've swapped it around a couple times, tried to ground out the Arduino on just a completely separate ground, but nothing is working. I'll demonstrate it in Tinkercad, what I was expecting. So if I start that and then click on that, so oops, zoom out. So right now it's at 59, and then as I go up, the speed increases until I get to 5 feet, and then it'll go to 250, come down to under a foot, and it goes down to 50. And that motor is doing what it needs to be doing and increasing in RPM. My code, I did not use a library for the ultrasonic sensor. I tried it last night with the same setup with the library and still no change. So I have the trigger pin and the echo pin defined here, motor pin defined, and then the motor speed set up. Trigger is the output, echo is the input, motor pin's an output. Those are my two variables for the ultrasonic sensor, and there's my pulse, and then the duration, and then here's the math to get. I did this in centimeters, so it prints centimeters, and then the move motor function. And then down here, go to the move motor function. If the distance is less than or equal to 30 and a half centimeters or a foot, the motor speed is 50. Else if distance is greater than 5 feet, 152.4 centimeters, the speed is 250. And then else if distance is greater than a foot but less than 5 feet, it's a linear speed. Else the motor speed minus 100, so just 0. Still constrained to 255 max, the analog write, and then printing the motor speed, which everything worked fine in here, And I would get my multimeter out, but I tried it and it just could not get it to work. Probably have a blown fuse or something in that. But yeah, any advice on this would be very much appreciated. But yeah, every time I hook VCC in from the ultrasonic sensor into the 5-volt pin on the Arduino, it just shuts off. So any advice with that would be great. The other thing is I'm not using a MOSFET. I'm using a BJT transistor. So the inputs are a little bit backwards. The motor pin is going into the center pin as the base. Voltage is going into the collector, which is the left pin. And then the motor comes out on the emitter. And again, same ground. Everything's on the same ground. So, all right, let me know if you have any questions, and if you have any advice, that would be much appreciated. Thanks.